Hi, welcome to Hack the File. I'm Michael Lopez, and today we're going to be talking about hacking the cybersecurity interview book. Enjoy. All right, so Clipchamp is the video editor I'm using, and they did some kind of update to it or some kind of coaching update. And ever since they did that, it's just been a piece of crap. And it's still in beta, so I don't know. I'm hoping that they work this out, but you won't be able to see my face, but it's okay. At least you can hear my voice and we can go over my thoughts. So, um, I recently did, so I'm about to graduate in December with a cyber operations and resilience degree from Boise State University in Idaho. And it's a really good program. Love it. Um, so I'm looking, it's 2 months away. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for jobs now and interviewing and stuff. And since I have previous experience in software and electrical engineering, I figure, I can start looking for jobs now. I really want a job in cybersecurity. I don't care what field, what section, whether it's blue team, red team, pen testing, it doesn't matter, right? So, but I applied for a company, and I'm not going to say the name of the company, but did an interview with them, and I'm going to go through how I prepped for it. Now, I didn't get the job, right? But that's okay because I plan and expect on going on a lot of interviews, okay? And so I thought I did pretty well, and I'm going to show you my critique on this book. So I use this book, Hack the Cybersecurity Interview, and I'm going to give you my opinion on after the interview. I'm reflecting and I'm going, okay, so what could I have done better, right? And what could this book do better? So it's by Pact, and I love Pact. This one is kind of like these ones are, this one is not well known for, like a cult following, like the cracking the coding interview. I mean, people literally, when they're in college, their professors say, hey, read this book, it'll help you get a job. Well, this one is not like that. I don't think it is, right? It's a short book. It's got 4 sections. I mean, it's just to give you an idea, and I'm gonna go through the pen testing section. So how it's broken up is, who's this book for, right? All that basic hacking yourself. So it's gonna, this stuff you could read and stuff, and then cybersecurity careers, interview questions. Now, if you're going for, it breaks it down into 3 different ones. So if you're going for a SOC analyst position, here's your Chapter 2 SOC analyst questions and what is it and all that. And then you've got other than the SOC analyst, then you've got, the heck is this? So I don't like this new app either, man. I'm having a lot of problems with all these apps and stuff. Like, this app is just crap, and this book won't open up in my other one that I like to navigate. But it's all right, this is the way life is. You gotta go with the flow. You know what I mean? You gotta figure it out. Okay, so Chapter 1 is hacking yourself. Let's go to Chapter 2, cybersecurity careers. Okay, so pen tester, Chapter 3. Okay, so this is the one that I did, right? Because I was going for a pen testing position for a company out here. And, the way this company, I'm not going to say the name, but the way this company structures itself is basically it provides a SIEM application that has live pen testing. And, it's a good concept and stuff. And they're making money. They just got a bunch of money awarded to them or whatever for investments and this and that. So obviously they're growing, right? And I'm gonna go through this, and then I'm gonna tell you my opinion on the interview process, right? So I'm 39 years old. Okay, I'm almost 40. I basically I have I'm gonna have 2 degrees here in a minute. I've got an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree, right? That's a lot of training. It's a lot of learning, and then I also have experience in the field. So I was a software engineer. I wrote code for nuclear power plants and for monitoring and control systems. So and that's not easy. Okay, so anybody that's whoever is a software engineer knows that software engineering isn't easy. Okay, it's hard. There's a lot of troubleshooting. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of brain power. Figuring things out. Why isn't it working? How can I do this better? And all that stuff, right? And so, and even electrical engineering. And technicians. When I was building systems and I was building test units to test certain things that um, companies were needing to test on their. I had to build customs. I mean, it's all difficult stuff, right? So it's just it's kind of funny how these companies interview. Okay, so we're gonna go through this book, and then I'll tell you what I'm talking about that. Okay, so the pen test, this is what I did to prepare for that test. I bought this book. I opened this up, and I think this book was only like $13. So I don't know, on Amazon. Maybe it was definitely under 20. I mean, I wouldn't have paid more than that. It's a small book. So it basically gives you what a penetration tester is, right? So in this chapter, you'll learn what a penetration tester is, okay, the average salary and all that, which is the average salary is going to range between the companies, okay, and how they structure their stuff, but it's anywhere from 75,000 to for entry level or whatever to whatever pen testers are getting paid. So this goes through what a pen tester is, okay? Penetration testing or ethical hacking is where you access security networks, websites, endpoints, mobile devices, wireless devices. And so this is stuff that I wrote this down and I actually memorized it, right? And you can just wing this question. So that's another thing. What is a pen tester? So if you're applying for a pen tester role, you most likely know what this is, right? What pen tester is. This is just giving you a what do you call that? A technical view of it, right? It sounds cool coming out of your mouth, but I wish that I wouldn't have memorized this. Okay, now I would want to get a little bit more personal with people in an interview, and I would explain what is a pen tester from like my heart, right? Because it sounds more, especially if you want to be a pen tester, you're not going to say, so they go, okay, tell me what a pen tester is. I'm going to say, well, a pen tester is an ethical hacker where you access the security of networks, websites, endpoints, and mobile devices and wireless devices, etc. That sounds like you're relying on this, like you went to a book or whatever, you're relying on that, and I don't like that. Okay, right? So I'll never do that again. What I did actually kind of do that. I memorized this, right? I'm not going to do that again. So my advice would be to come from your own heart with this, right? And say, say, be genuine and say, hey, pen tester is somebody that tests security networks and hacks into websites with the permission of the company in order to test their security and see if there's any openings or things that we need to recommend to secure their network or their website, right? That sounds a little bit better, because even though I just said that off my brain right now, I want to practice that better before I go on an interview, but that sounds better than this crap here. Okay, so we don't want to do that, but this gives you an insight to what they do, right? But I recommend don't remember that. Okay, now this ROE right here, and like I said, I didn't get the job, right? So maybe you absolutely need to memorize this, right? But I don't think so. I'm gonna go through why why I think I didn't get the job, and I mean, just like I said, I'm gonna go through about 30 interviews. I had a friend that applied for 50 places, got 30 interviews. So he went on 30 interviews before like he finally got one, and he makes 150,000 a year now, and he's doing, so he got the one he wanted. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm not gonna say I know everything, but I'm gonna tell you what I think how I could have did better, because when it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, yeah, that sounds stupid. I could have went better into that. So, and I've never had problems interviewing, so this actually messed me up, right? Okay, that's all I'm saying. So now, if you want to go through all this like ROEs, that's a good thing to remember. So, and stuff like that. So, how much can you make in this role? Which roles do they do? You're not going to need to do that. Where do you go to research and why? How your favorite? Okay, so do you have a favorite hacker in history? So in the interview, they asked me how do I keep up on current events. Okay, that's kind of like this. And then they asked me, they actually asked me this. So this book is kind of accurate. It says, who do you admire? Who's your people that you admire? So this is a great question right here in the book. And this one, it says Kevin Mitnick, and he actually is somebody I admire, Kevin Mitnick, right? So you can go through this, and it tells you, what they expect and then why they're asking you that. And what I did is I got a little list of like YouTube people that I follow, right? The Cyber Mentor and Professor Messer and all that, and then even Kevin Mitnick, and then Alyssa Knight. Alyssa Knight is a badass that's hacking into connected cars right now, and I bought her book and everything. So I mentioned that, so this is great. I would follow this, and then you just tell them the truth. You don't want to lie. Okay, what are some areas of planning to improve in? Now, they didn't ask me this, right? But that's just one place. They might ask you that. That's an awesome question. You need to know that, right? How do you improve daily? And me, I do mine through books, and I do videos and stuff. So, and I keep up with YouTube, and I do research online and stuff like that. But in reality, how I'm going to keep up with that after I graduate is going to be a very honest question, because how are you going to keep up? How am I going to keep up with cybersecurity? How are you going to do it, right? So that's that question. It's a great question. Okay, so I need to perform an internal pen test, and I have an ROE. Now your ROE is your the heck is it called? See, and I can't even think right now. My brain is all jacked up from just school and doing all this. But it's right here. Your rules of engagement. God, that was easy. I see my brain is not working. Anyways, like your statement of work and your rules of engagement are things that you're gonna set in place with your employer before you even start pen testing. It's very important, right? So I was dropping knowledge like that in the interview. They couldn't care less, So, and I'm going to tell you why they couldn't care less about important things like that, because you need to know. It's very important that you need to have your rules of engagement set in, and you need to have your SOW, your statement of work, before you have it defined before you even start it, because you got to make sure you have permission. You got to make sure and it's very important in pen testing. I know this, right? That you need to know what you can do and you can't do. None of that was asked, okay? And when I told them that I was dropping those lines, they couldn't care less. So ridiculous. So, but that's very important to know if your, company is wanting to make sure you don't, you don't make a mistake. So, what types of cross scripting are there? Which are the most dangerous? So, this is very important, okay? Especially in pen testing. If you're pen testing websites and stuff and SQL and all that crap. So, get this information, write it down. There's documentology, there's a reflective. And this is stuff that you need to know if you're going for pen testing. And maybe try Hack Me or something, gives you experience on it. But okay, can you explain X XSS as though you were talking? So this exactly is the exact question they asked. these three, not that one, but these two right here. Like, can you explain cross-site scripting? That's what that is, right? like you were talking to a 10-year-old kid. They actually said 8-year-old kid. They wanted me to explain it to an 8-year-old kid or something, or maybe they said 8th grade. I don't know. Maybe it was like an eighth grader is what they said. So that makes sense because that's exactly what they said here. So they might be even following this kind of book, and whoever wrote this is following like a script and was in the industry and asked these questions. You need to explain that, and I think I did pretty good on that. Even though I didn't get the job, I thought I did pretty good on that. I mean, they asked me a ton of technical questions. These are only a couple, okay? How can you perform XSS if script or their tags are blocked? Okay, that stuff I wasn't asked, but it's not bad to know. They might ask you somewhere else. What was the last script that you wrote? Okay, now this is actually one they asked me too. What was the last script you wrote? What was its purpose? I told them I wrote a vulnerable Nmap scanning application, and its purpose was to find open ports. And that's a great one. You need to write that down, right? I mean, all of these are cool. What are some types of threat actors? They didn't ask me this, but somebody might. Okay, how do you scope out a pen testing engagement? They kind of asked me what my steps were, and I just ran through the MITRE attack frame, right? Reconnaissance and all that. So what are the ways you can gain information from target pen testing? They didn't ask me that, but that's good to know too. Nmap scans, OSINT, stuff like that. What is social engineering? They didn't ask me that, but you should know that, right? What are some ways to perform physical? So these are like no-brainers, right? What's social engineering? You don't need to have okay, I'm gonna go into something here in a second, but in my opinion, you don't need to have the exact definition of this, okay? If they're asking for exact definitions or something, I think that's ridiculous, because social engineering can be explained different ways, right? And that's why they say social engineering is basically, they put the basically in there, the use of human physiology to influence someone else's behavior. Yeah, you don't need to get all textbook on that. You do that, you might lose them, because you're trying to, I don't know, but you should know what social engineering is if you're in cybersecurity, right? And explain it. My advice would be to explain things like that with your own heart, right? Social engineering is when threat actors are trying to attack a corporation. You practice all this, right? I'm just coming off the dome with it right now, and I'm just really, my brain is all jacked up from school. Too much, right? So it's when threat actors come in and they're trying to attack your company, and they're using the human factor, right, or something like that. They're using the human factor. They're relying on the human factor and other factors like that, physical factors and stuff. Anyways, so sounds a lot better because you're coming from your own dome from it than just saying, yeah, it's basically the human physical, memorizing this shit, right? That's just ridiculous. What are types of social engineering? Okay, types of social, and then this is good. The different types is like phishing attack. This is great right here, actually. And you can do that. And so, okay, I'm gonna try to keep this under 30 minutes. This video, but this is a great book. Now, like I said, some of this stuff you need to come with your own heart with it, right? Or else you're gonna sound like you're just memorizing this stuff, and you're gonna sound, I don't know. And whether they like that or not, some companies might like it and go, man, he has good memory. He memorized it word for word. And some interviewers would be like, what? And it sounded like he just memorized everything before he came in here. Does he really know? Is he really interested? Is that person really interested in it? Is his heart in it? So I don't know. I think the one mistake I did, maybe why I didn't even get it, is because I did follow these, word for word, some of them, and I did memorize them, and I'll never do that again. Anyways, SQL injections. So you need to brush up on your SQL injections, apparently, because they kept asking me about that. And I just told them the basic and a couple of ways to do it, and obviously it wasn't enough. So, all this other, like what is Boolean blind SQL injection? So this is what they were asking me, like they wanted me to say blind SQL injection. They wanted me to say, and I couldn't remember specifically this because I went through this and I obviously forgot what the different types of SQL injections. You know what I mean? So, and that's not good when you're trying to go for a pen test. So that's another reason why I didn't get the job, is because you need to know that. Okay, so that's why this book is here. Go through and see if you can get everything in here. Whether you think you're not gonna need it or not, I can tell you right now, you're gonna need to know different types of SQL injections, right? So this book is actually a really good book, but some of this stuff come with your own heart with it, right? Or the stuff that you have a real interest in, and you know what it is, and you can explain it better than the book. Just do that. Explain that better than the book. Have confidence and faith in yourself. It's the moral of the story. And the stuff that you don't know, memorize that. You know what I'm saying? That you're not like the different, what is a Boolean blind SQL injection? And then it tells you right here. Then you're like, oh, okay, I remember. And I actually did this in Try Hack Me. So, where you're going through and you're going, okay, 1, no, and it's sending something back and saying no, and then you go 2, no, 3, you got a delay on it. Okay, so then that might be 3. That's terrible too. But that's how they hack. Okay, so what are the differences? Yeah. Okay, so all this stuff you need to know. Okay, so like my thoughts on the interview process, right? So. And don't think that I'm bitter, okay? Because I really don't care. Because I'm gonna be, life is the way it is. You're gonna be with the company that ultimately thinks like, hey, this is the guy, right? And that's the place you want to be. If in that case they said that. Now, so I do understand that I'm going to be going on a bunch of years. I'm 40 years old. I've done this many a times. When my first degree, when I was going for an electrical engineering technician, I went on 20 interviews and I got one job, right? So I already know the game, okay? So, but what I'm going to break down is I'm going to just talk about how companies are basically how they're having the hiring process, okay? So first of all, the two people that were interviewing me were probably 23 years old, okay? And as they were introducing themselves, they were saying, okay, I've been with this company 3 years and I'm so and so and so and so. Now, I'm not knocking the hustle of some people. They both might be badasses, okay? And they both might have worked their way up to the hiring process of ready, they're so badass they can hire. And so they hold on, somebody just came in. Anyway, so they can do that, but they might be badasses, right? But 3 years, okay, so my last job that I was at, the people that are hiring were in the company at least 15 plus years. There was nobody there under 5 years that was doing any hiring process. So what that tells me is that when they're hiring, their hiring process is streamlined to where anybody could do it, right? But then if anybody could do it and they're following the script of their limited knowledge in the company, let's say 3 years, 5 years. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't have 15 years of experience, but I can guarantee you they didn't. When you're 25 years old, you ain't got 15 years of experience in the technical field, okay? So that's one thing I thought, that's just dumb. Okay, the second one was when I was introducing myself and my accomplishments and my capabilities and all that stuff. Once I got through it, and I said, hey, this and that, and that, there was no follow-up questions about anything, about my resume, basically about, what was on my resume, what they were, anything about myself, or nothing personal. It was just more of like, introduce myself. Yeah, I think I'm a badass. And then there you go. And then they're basically like, all right, let's move on. So it's kind of like, when you're So if you're trying to hire somebody, you want to see, whether they have the track record to learn, okay, the capability to learn, the capability to do things that fast, or what they've accomplished, right? You should talk about what's on the resume. Hey, it says that you did this, you saved the company $15,000. Would you mind telling me how you did that? That takes 5 minutes. 5 minutes to ask, and then I can just tell you, hey, this is how I did that. So that's my second grievance. Like, right when I told them that was it, they were like, all right, okay. And then they jumped immediately into technical questions, which is fine. But when you're asking somebody how many ports do you scan, how many ports are there when you scan, and somebody says, well, maybe I know there's a lot, maybe there's like 65,000. You don't know the exact word, or somebody says, hey, I know that when I scan, I use the top 10,000 ports, right? The top 10 ports, 10,000. I'm sorry, ports. That's a partial credit on that. You know what I'm saying? You should, So, and I don't know. They kept asking the same questions in different ways, and I was wondering if they're looking for a specific answer, which of course they are, because they're following the script and they're following what they do and stuff like that. So that's fine. So now my final grievance is, so this company basically hires new grads or people with no pen testing experience. This is what they're known for, okay? And then they put them through like a 6-month training that they have in their company, right? It's this university of some sort. I have no clue what that is. It should just be on the job training, right? Somebody has a degree, they have interest in it, they know a little bit of stuff, and you want to take a chance on them, hire them, put them through the training. I guess they got burned too many times like that or something. I don't know. But so now they actually put you through a university, or quotation marks in there, and then but all it is training, right? And then but it's the training that they're going to give you how to pen test their SIEM device and their whatever they're using, their tool, and then they hire you, right, after you get through that training. But they hire you before that, while you're training too. But it's weird. Anyways, but they let you know up front that they're hiring people that are interested in pen testing with no pen testing experience. Okay, that makes no sense. That in their minds, when somebody goes for an interview, like, I was a software engineer, so when they think that I can't learn how to do simple pen testing with a SIEM for their applications, like, I can't learn that. I've already, and so I told them that I passed the junior pen testing cert from TryHackMe. I've done the OWASP top 10 TryHackMe. So I did all that on the fly, and I did all that, and I learned all that in like 3 months. Okay. And I learned it well enough to actually, if I had to actually get, and I learned that on the side while I was going to school and stuff. So if I graduate, I devote all my attention into something like that. All right, yeah, I got it. I got interrupted, so I'm gonna have to start this section over again. So if I graduated and devoted my full attention into learning how to do pen testing, since I'm already past the TryHackMe strip and all that, and I do it in the real field, I'm sure I can learn how to do that proficiently. It's kind of baffling to me how these companies are doing this, yet it makes no sense to me how they're thinking, what they're thinking is behind it, because if it seems like they didn't even look at my resume. So if I'm a software engineer, and then I was an electrical engineering technician, then now I'm into cybersecurity, it seems to me that I have the ability to learn different areas quickly. So it took me 3 months to do the TryHackMe pen testing and all that crap. 3 months tops. I wouldn't even say 3 months. I would say like 2, right? On the I'm top 4% on that TryHackMe. I don't know if that means anything, but I mean, it was easy to me, and I'm doing it, and I'm like, oh, this is easy, right? You know, there's a couple of videos. So you mean to tell me I wouldn't be able to pass your school or your training or university, quotation marks in the air? I wouldn't be able to do that, you know, let's see, in 4 months or 3 months or whatever. I wouldn't be able to do that. So it's just ridiculous. To me, it's a step down from what I was doing, right? But I want to change my field, so I understand I got to start all over and all that stuff. But it's just mind baffling to me, you know. And you know, so these companies are going to be missing out on great employees. Now, you know, I would have been a great employee. I already know that. So when and especially if you're relying on not the person's ability to learn and the person's proven track record, and you're solely interested in whether they can remember from, you know, how many, you know, what are the different types of SQL attacks or whatever, you know, and then, you know, if they get one or two wrong, let's say out of all the questions I got less right than somebody that memorized all of them, that has no work experience, that doesn't even know how to program, that just barely graduated. You're going to go with that person over somebody that, just because they had more of those technical questions right, let's say 2 or 3 more, you know, I'm not talking about blowing somebody out of the water. Okay, that's obvious. Somebody blows you out of the water, then hey, you need to go brush up. But if you know, let's say he got a couple more, because I know I got a lot right, you know, and then so, you know, he got a couple more, she got a couple more, and then, you know, you would go with that person. That's just dumb. You know, to me, that's not a company that that's caring about, you know, innovation and, you know, their intellectual longevity, or any kind of person that's going to be that has a proven track record of continually learning and continually contributing. And when you're not even willing to look at like their contributions and ask them about them on their resume, then that tells you right there that they don't care. So that's just my beef. And a lot of companies are doing that, you know what I mean? And so we wonder why, you know, everything we do is slow, right? We wonder why, you know, when we're trying to grow and we're trying to innovate and all that it takes longer, is because the way they're setting up their structure and they're going about it. Companies are not willing to take chances on people anymore. Most companies ain't. And if they are, they're paying them nothing. So yeah, I'm willing to take a chance on you. Let's see. And then they go, but we're going to pay you 40% less than everybody else, right? Because of that, you know. So it's kind of like, damn, you know, there's a lot of trade-offs. You know, so yeah, that's my grievance with it. But this book is really cool. So there's a lot of stuff on here that is great. And then this book actually has, so it's Hack the Cybersecurity Interview. It's a really, really good book. I recommend picking it up. But like I said, some of the stuff that you already know, like really good in your heart, don't even look at that. You know, kind of look at it, but use your own definition for it. And I can guarantee you'll sound a lot smoother, sound a lot more confident. And so this one has different, you know, it has a SOC analyst, it has a penetration tester, it has a malware analyst, it's got, you know, security auditor, all that stuff, cryptographer, digital forensics. So this is a really great one too. Digital forensics, pen tester. So cybersecurity management careers. If you're a manager, you're looking to get into management. I mean, this is a cool little book. It was cheap and it was cool. And, you know, I'll keep you guys posted when I go on another interview, and hopefully I get to use this again. And this time I want to use it a little bit different, and if I get the job, you'll know that it works. All right, that was HackTheFile, and till next time, have fun.